And I'm now joined, sorry, Paidi and I are now joined by Andrew McGuinness, Councillor here in Kilkenny, also Mayor of Kilkenny, and of course his father John McGuinness is the current Fianna Fáil TD, and looks like he will remain main at TD and head the poll.
Yeah, we're delighted with the vote that he's after getting, and it looks like he'll be. I'm assuming he'll be elected after not the next count, but the one after that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a great day for John. It's been a great day for Fianna Fáil. It looks like we're on the track to win 3 seats, which would be a major achievement.
Would you call it a 3 now?
I'm not going to call it right now. I think that we have another couple of counts away from kind of making an accurate prediction. But I do think that Jennifer is safe, I think John is safe, and I think Chap is definitely in the running for getting the third Fianna Fáil seat.
Yeah, and as Paidi was saying, but in previous interviews, when the exit polls came in, you saw Fianna Fáil on 19%. Did you think, I don't know about this, or because in Carlow, Kilkenny, they have bucked the trend?
I have never taken the national opinion polls like that, or the exit polls, seriously when it comes to Kilkenny, because we've always bucked the national trend in Kilkenny. If you go back to 2011 when Fianna Fáil were decimated, John McGuinness got a great vote, and he's consistently got a great vote in every election since 1997. So regardless of the state of the party nationally. So I do think that we've often bucked the national trend here in Kilkenny, and I think that the trend around the country at the moment, it looks like Fianna Fáil are in the lead in terms of winning seats, so it's looking very good for Fianna Fáil today.
And as regards possible government formation, it looks like Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael probably will be a little bit short number-wise, so they may have to do a deal with either Social Democrats, the Labour Party, or Independents. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'd imagine that they might have conversations first of all with independents that were Fianna Fáil leaning in the past, if you know what I mean, and I think that's where they might start. But after that, I'm not sure what the choice would be if the options were there for the Labour Party or for Social Democrats. It's going to be an interesting few weeks ahead, and I don't think it's going to be a decision that's going to be made quite quickly. I think it's going to be made over an extended period, and we could be waiting until mid-January before we see a government formed.
Okay, so you think we won't have a government before Christmas?
Hopefully we will. I suppose it all depends on the figures after today and tomorrow around the country. But we might have a wait on our hands.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm going to hand you over to my colleague Paidi Manning. So
I think he nearly drew a boot on me the last time we were talking in the interview. I was stirring it a little bit.
Not like it.
You work in John's office would I be right in saying a parliamentary assistant?
He's parliamentary assistant, yeah.
Yeah, and I was asking Pat Dunphy this about his role for John Paul. The work of a parliamentary assistant and a county councillor, they go hand in hand. How could you explain to anyone watching maybe what a parliamentary assistant does?
Well, I suppose a lot of the work that I would do for John is when he's not in the constituency, I would attend all his meetings and appointments on his behalf. And I suppose my role as a parliamentary assistant would step out from that in that I have experience as a journalist. So I would do a lot of John's PR. I would do a lot of his research for speeches and things like that. And being a county councillor means that I'm able to do a lot of his constituency work. It does benefit, I'll be the first to say, it does benefit me as a county councillor when I'm working for people in my electoral area. But as you can see today, John got votes from all over every electoral area, so we would put a lot of work into each of the areas, and it's beneficial that I'm a county councillor, but it doesn't mean everything, if you know what I mean, because you're spread all over the constituency. I would do clinics from around the county and sometimes in Carlow and that as well. So, yeah, there's a lot of work involved in it. But particularly when you're working for your dad, any son that works for their dad will attest to that fact. It's very, very hard to keep your dad happy and to not switch off, or to switch off from work. We're always talking about work. Christmas dinner, the rest of my brothers and my sister have us warned that do not bring up politics during Christmas. We're not working when we're sitting down at the kitchen table, but we tend to always be working. It's just
there's no HR department.
There's no HR department, no, there's none of that. We're just always doing it, and it's just because we love it.
You mentioned 2011, Fianna Fáil it looked like they might be facing extinction, and in the space, maybe not extinction per se, but one seat in Kilkenny, I think 20 TDs across the country. It's fair to say, whatever about the country, Carlow, Kilkenny, Fianna Fáil has recovered to the point where, again, they're topping polls. You'll bring in 2, maybe 3 running mates. Fianna Fáil are very strong, Carlow, Kilkenny. Ivan Yates called it their best constituency, Ireland. So where does Fianna Fáil and Kilkenny go from here? What does the future hold for the party in the constituency?
Well, I suppose, first of all, if you look at the local elections, there was huge success in the local elections.
I would say Fianna Fáil won the local elections, whatever Carlow, definitely in Kilkenny.
We absolutely did. I mean, we topped the poll in all of our local areas. We kept 11 seats on the council, which is phenomenal. We nearly got 12. We were very, very close to getting 12 with Maria Wall in South Kilkenny, and she's here at the count as well, and she's encouraged to run again. And that's great when you see younger people looking at the next election with motivation. That's when you know you're onto something and things are improving, because new candidates are already planning their future within Fianna Fáil, within local politics or national politics. Whereas before you might have to go on a search for candidates when you're getting close to a local election, but now candidates seem to be coming to us. So that's a great sign. So if you're talking about the future of Fianna Fáil, I would see the future of Fianna Fáil in Kilkenny as getting younger, getting more progressive, and getting bigger. And it's obviously, as a Fianna Fáil member, it's great to see that happening, and it's very encouraging for all of us.
And I mentioned it to Pat Fitzpatrick and Jenny Cass-Lattery. We were chatting about the counts, transfers and whatnot. And in 2020, Malcolm snuck up and took out Bobby Elwood. Patricia Stevenson seems to be the, I won't say dark horse, but she's the Malcolm Noonan of this election in that sense. She's getting good, strong transfers. Do you reckon, who is she the biggest threat to at the moment, do you reckon?
Well, if you look at the last election, I think it was Adrian Wallace that her transfers put Malcolm Noonan up above Bobby Elwood.
Malcolm got over 2,000 votes off her.
Yeah, he got a huge vote, and that's what pushed him in over the line. And I'm very sorry to see Malcolm losing his seat. Politics aside, it's very, very tough on your home life, on your personal life. You're losing your job, when you lose your seat, and that's your livelihood, and it's very sad to see that happen to anybody, regardless of politics. But this time around, yes, I think Patricia Stevenson is definitely creeping up there. I think she was a good candidate. She's very well spoken, and she gets her point across very, very well, and she's very well presented in her campaign and everything else. And I want to congratulate her on that. But I definitely think that she's still in with a shout, and I think that who's most at risk of losing out to her, I don't know, maybe Fine Gael. Maybe Fine Gael could be most at risk. There's only, 100 or a couple of hundred between Michael Doyle and David Fitzgerald, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. I reckon the city candidates that have been eliminated now will be more beneficial to David Fitzgerald, so that could put him up over Michael Doyle. So yeah, it's probably the most interesting count that I've been at in a couple of decades.
And the slowest.
Oh God, look, we won't get into the issues that we've had with the count centre and everything else. That's for another day. But it's definitely been a long, slow process.
Well, I have nothing else to say. I have no grenades, and I'll pass you back to Paul now.
Well,
lads.
Well, Andrew, thanks a million for taking the time to talk to Paul and myself here on the Irish Political Roundup, and it looks like fairly soon that your dad John McGuinness will be elected, so you can kind of plan the celebrations in advance. So thanks a million.
Thanks very much.
Talk to you soon.
Thanks, lads.
Bye.
All friends.